Hello, so we were very grateful to be on 99.9 BayFm with Nyck Jeanes, and today we got the recording and we're very happy with it, and so if you enjoy it, please share it. If the sound is a bit off, it's because I've had to record it from one device to another device, so the sound might, you can still hear it, but forgive me if the sound's a little bit fuzzy. Thank you, Nyck. Really appreciate being on the show. It was a lovely experience. And yeah, take care. Lots of love. Bye-bye.
In the studio with me, my final guests for this morning, and very interesting people because they were introduced to me up at the, well, not directly, but what they were doing up at the Tayagum, what was it called again? Thank you. Festival the other weekend, and got in contact with them, and this family who've been living in Sydney for the last 10 years, but originally, as I've just found out, from Liverpool. Nicholas, Danielle and Bo. Good morning to you. Nicholas, he's the one who's talking, but Bo's here. How old are you, Bo? 8. Bo's 8. Danielle's a bit older than that, and you're a little bit older than that, or somewhere around there. Nicholas, Bo and Danielle, how are you doing, folks?
Good. Thank
nice,
you.
Nice to have you in here.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Now, you're on a road trip. You're on a big road trip that was inspired some time ago, a year or so ago, I gather, in Sydney. Love, Peace and Harmony roadshow, so to speak.
Road trip, yeah.
Now, you can go and see the Love, Peace, Harmony movement. There is a website, .org, lovepeaceharmony.org, and so we'll talk about that, and also a Facebook page, so you can check out what Love, Peace, Harmony is doing, including practical things like planting 1 million trees, so that's fantastic. But what inspired you guys? You obviously came to Australia from your home country, from Liverpool, lobbed in Sydney, which is a tough city, big city, beautiful city, but tough city. And now you're on the road in a bus.
Yeah.
Why? How'd that happen?
Well, when we came to Australia, fell in love with the place and decided this was our new home. And we got introduced to a spiritual teacher 7, nearly 8 years ago now. And he covers a broad spectrum of teaching. But basically, I was really drawn to his global peace movement. And then basically for the last 7 years, I have researched the top conscious scientists, other spiritual teachers, truth seekers, and I found that there is a common link between them all, and they all share the same solution. And we live in a beautiful time right now because there is an abundance of scientific research to prove that we actually have a solution for world peace. And what that solution is collective meditation. So the goal of the Love, Peace, Harmony movement is to get 1.5 billion people and more.
That's billion, folks, not million. 1.5
billion.
Billion people. Yes.
Meditating together and singing one song.
That's about 20% of the population, thereabouts.
And we know through a lot of scientific research that we can prove that it will. It does work, and it shifts the consciousness.
So let's go through some of that research, because I'm familiar with some of it, and my listeners are too. And I mentioned with a previous guest, you may have heard with Kim and Amir earlier today about Transcendental Meditation movement, which many years ago, and I'm a TM meditator, or have been, proved with pretty solid scientific research in the States in particular, that an X number of people, a certain percentage of people meditating together can minimise the violence and abuse and so forth in a city, in a society, which is pretty amazing. So you know about that, obviously. What else? What other scientific pieces do you put in place?
In the presentation, we actually talk about...
Yes, so you've got a presentation. This is great.
So in the presentation, we talk about transcendental meditation. And there's a number of global peace movements right now, and I think they're all good. I think any listener now, whatever resonates with you, go with it. Dr. Joe Dispenza, for example, he's talking about, he measures the coherent field of the heart, and obviously the more people, they measure it with a league lag analysis, which is basically, if you looked at it, the way he explains it, if you looked at a chain smoker, the more they smoked, the more cigarettes they smoked, the more chance they have of getting lung cancer, for example. So the more people who take part in these peace gatherings, the greater the effect. Why I share the Love, Peace, Harmony movement, I'm not saying one is better than the other, they're all good, but it has an added dimension of sound. Okay, so we all know that sound carries a vibration and a signature, and the actual each line of the Love, Peace, Harmony song is a blueprint for world peace. So the first line is, I love my heart and soul. Okay, you can't give $1 million if you don't have it. You can't give love if you don't have it. Okay, and every spiritual tradition I've researched, that's the foundation. You have to love yourself first. So that's self-healing. And then from that, when you achieve that, the next step is line 2. I love all humanity. In this song, humanity represents all souls, countless planets, stars, galaxies, and universes. So, you know, we occupy a unique,
I'm liking it.
Yeah, we occupy a unique location in the cosmos.
Yes.
And from that position, we can offer love.
Yeah.
Consciously spread love to everyone. So that's line 2. Line 3 is join hearts and souls together. That is a divine calling to unite with a universal consciousness. And then the final 2 lines, love, peace, harmony, love, peace, harmony. And that is what we will achieve when we...
Beautiful. And we have this song here. We're going to play a little bit of it at the end here. It's in 5 different languages. I think we're going to probably end up with some bit of Chinese at the beginning. Wherever we start and wherever we land, I'll play that at the end.
I will just add one more thing,
please.
if that's okay.
Of course.
What they've found with collective meditation, and you know, some of the figures show that the statistics will drop violence, emergency room visits, and things like that up to 76%. Okay, and we even talk about people who've measured sunspots. When mass meditation's on Earth, they've actually had a 36% reduction in sunspot activity.
Okay, that's interesting.
But what happens is after the meditation, the days and weeks after, those figures return back to normal. Okay, so where I think this is a genuine tool, and this is why self-development's important, so that we can stay in those elevated, coherent states when we're not doing the collective meditations. But if we have 1.5 billion people at least playing this song, which is free, it's been copyrighted to humanity.
Copyrighted to humanity.
It's our song. Make as many
like that
copies as
face.
you want.
Copyright to have humanity. Yeah.
So when we have
open source,
1.5 billion people at least playing the song all the time, it's creating a coherent frequency and vibration in their home, their office, their car, and that influences the field. So it's able to sustain that coherence.
You'd be familiar then with the Heart Math Institute. I imagine you've done a fair bit of investigation with the Heart Math, which has been in existence for actually a very long time, and done a lot of work in this area, based in the United States. In my other show on Monday mornings, we talk quite a lot about Heart Math at different times and refer to it. Yeah,
their research is amazing. Their contribution is amazing.
Yes, certainly is. And you might want to check that out, folks. Heartmath.com. Experience science-based technology and programs for taking charge of your life, and so on. A lot to do with the heart's intuition. I mean, that's an interesting thing too here. It occurs to me as you're speaking that something twigged in you guys, some intuitive response to all of this occurred. And I think that's probably what actually has to happen for people, because you can never push people to evolve faster than they can.
Absolutely.
Or willing to. You can't push the river, as they say. And so it is a matter of somehow inspiring people to perhaps tune in a different way to the potential of exactly what you're talking about, of coming together in this kind of focus, in this kind of meditative, musical focus. And as a muso myself, I mean, I do kirtan, so I know what it's like to have people sing together. I do it a couple of times a fortnight with people. So I know that, and I've often thought about what would it be like. I remember seeing Paul, talking about Liverpool, I remember seeing Paul McCartney in Brisbane last year, which is like a dream come true, seeing a Beatle live, because I never had, and it was a fantastic concert. But what was incredible is, because everybody knew most of the songs, he had 55,000 people singing those songs at times, or parts of the songs, and in that moment I thought, now, wouldn't that be great if this was focused on peace and love and harmony and exactly what you're talking about. And of course McCartney had a very lovely energy about him, so actually the whole night was a bit like that anyway. But if you really focus it with the kind of message that you're putting forth in the songs, whether it be as the kind of 5-part lines that you said before, or a mantra which is saying the same kind of thing in Sanskrit or in some other language, whatever it might be, it's a powerful thing. I think we're becoming ready for this. The MCG in Melbourne, the Melbourne Cricket Ground, holds 105,000 people. Wouldn't it be amazing to have 105,000 people in there at one time singing a song like that? What incredible! It would.
It's a global intention.
It's global intention. Yes.
We have to care. We have to care about ourselves, our planet, and our children, our children's children. So you have to be compelled, I think, to want to help the world and your fellow human being. Like for us, I always say, like this, the presentation I put together is designed for skeptics. That's why I've used a lot of scientific research, because I'm an open-minded skeptic. Okay, so for 7 years I've practiced this. So if it didn't work for me personally, I wouldn't share it. So the difference I've seen it make in my personal life, in my family's life, and in my communities as well, we felt now is the time, because we're having really open spiritual conversations with everybody. People who, even my family, a huge turnaround in the last few years.
Yeah.
And there is a shift in consciousness.
There is a shift in consciousness.
We can't deny that. Yeah. You know, somebody said to me after one of the presentations, why is it taking so long for humanity to wake up? And my answer to that was, I don't think it is. I mean, if you look at relative timelines, how long we've been on the planet, how long old the planet is, this awakening is so fast.
That's right.
It's so fast. And
exponential.
I'm talking to bakers, mechanics, it doesn't matter. Everyone seems to be ready to leave the old way and is ready for a new change. Yeah. So I think now is the time. That's why we decided to go for it. Yeah.
So you're just travelling in the bus, taking it where it takes you, and doing this, talking about it, showing up on radio, and the presentations. Is there one in this region?
There is. In the 22nd, which is the International Peace Weekend.
Yeah, day after the Peace Day. Yeah. Fantastic. So where is that one going to be?
It's in Wild Space in Mullingar.
Oh, okay, lovely space. That yes. I like
that's
Wild
at
Space.
2 p.m.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
And that's going to be slightly longer. That's 2 till 5, because we're going to do an hour's meditation in that presentation. Because I know that whole weekend there's a lot of collective meditations around the world, so we're going to tap into that.
Yeah, fantastic. Wild Space, the 22nd of September, 2 to 5 p.m. I think most people know where Wild Space is in Mullingar. I've had those guys on radio when they opened it up back a few months ago. Nearly out of time. I have to leave it there so we can play any other message from Greg. So there you go. And actually what you're saying here about the readiness for change, and I often say, it's hard for us to see the forest for the trees. When you're living a life, you're in the trees. There's a tree here, tree there. Trees are disappearing, trees are dying, to use the metaphor. But if you take a step back out and look at the whole pattern, what you do see is actually real change coming in. People actually turning away from the status quo, turning away from the structures of society that are way out of date now.
And that is the shifting.
That's the shifting consciousness.
That's the vertical dimension that meditation brings to see a broader spectrum. If I could finish on one thing, it would be, we've been brought up to think that we are separate and we're helpless, but we're not.
Absolutely.
Okay. This moment, this time of transition, everyone's contribution is needed. So I would love you all. Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you, Nick.
Beautiful. Thank you, Nicholas, Danielle, and Bo in the studio here. And let's listen to a little bit of this song here for this Love, Peace and Harmony song. Blessings. peace and harmony in a number of languages. Really quite beautiful, and the song that is at the forefront of that movement that Nicholas and Danielle and Bo, a little family, all the way from Liverpool via Sydney to Byron and beyond in their bus, doing the presentation, and beautiful people, really beautiful energy to be with them this morning and to share what has been a very focused on love, peace and harmony, just by accident today, because that's what's up, and there is definitely a change occurring on the planet. Be part of that, be part of the change. As much as you must be political and strong, and I say that with great respect to that activism and that awareness that we must have too, and community newsroom is up soon. If you want the info there, stay tuned for the next hour to BayFm, because they're always bringing those issues to the fore, particularly local, but the bigger issues too. So while maintaining that political stance, while being activist, while being strong, by speaking up, also to move towards that place inside yourself of love, peace and harmony towards all. Seems to be time here on this planet for exactly that. You're on BayFM 999. Thanks for joining me.
BayFM 99.9.